Hey there everyone, it's me, MF17, and I just wanted to take the time to talk to you about why I think that the case needs to be made about why there should be at least one anime sponsorship in NASCAR. I figured that since this is part of the new community that I'm going to be creating this year, I figured it would only make sense that we start talking about what we need to do to start growing it. It's only natural, and the biggest thing for me and for everyone else is to focus on how to start getting anime sponsorships into NASCAR. Now, before you go off with your typical rantings about, oh, there's never been an anime-sponsored car in NASCAR, and there never will be.
What the hell are you on about?
First of all, let me name a few prominent examples of anime tied-in sponsors that have existed in NASCAR in the past. First of all, in 1999, the Roush Racing number 16 car had a tie-in sponsorship with TV Guide that had Pikachu on the hood of the car.
Who's that Pokemon?
It's Pikachu!
It's Clefairy!
Fuck!
Granted, it wasn't an official anime sponsorship, but hey, it had the character on it, so I think it counts. And there are two examples of the Richard Petty Motorsports number 43 car that had anime sponsors on them. One was in 2003 that had Yu-Gi-Oh! As the sponsor. On the car, and it was driven by Jeff Green at Talladega.
Man, it's pretty f***ed up, yo. Pretty f***ed up, Joey.
And another one was driven by Bobby Labonte at Richmond in 2008, and it was a tie-in for the live-action Speed Racer movie, which, by the way, wasn't that good. It was terrible. But anyways, those are some of the most prominent examples that I was able to find from the past of anime-style sponsors that have appeared in NASCAR. Now, for today's market, there's a lot of different ideas of what you could potentially bring in as a new sponsor, but the two most prominent examples that I've seen of trying to get anime sponsors into NASCAR are Funimation and the all-powerful streaming site that everybody loves, Crunchyroll. Those are the two most prominent examples that I've seen, but I think there are a few others out there that we could try looking into. If you guys have any other suggestions, make sure to let me know. And plus, in case you didn't know, I've actually created a lot of my own concept designs of paint schemes and car designs that have anime designs on them, and they may not essentially have anime sponsors, but they have the designs collated in with the design, or just part of the design. Now, take these with a grain of salt. If your favorite series isn't in here, I do apologize in advance, but this is my personal thing. And also, in case you didn't know, yes, it is entirely possible that your favorite anime might or may not be one of mine. It's just part of how this culture is. yes, these designs have not gotten a lot of exposure, but it's not too surprising. This idea is not the kind of thing that jives with a lot of people, but it's only a matter of time before this idea finally starts getting more exposure. In fact, I've actually noticed 2 separate incidents where the hashtag that I created, the NASCAR anime hashtag, has appeared in the auto-generated hashtag results on Twitter. And that's proof that it is starting to gain traction. It just needs a matter of staying persistent, keep tweeting this stuff, and eventually it will find the audience that I want, and the goal will be achieved. I know that you guys like this idea, and it's natural that you'd want to help me get more exposure, because this idea is not the kind of thing that will just blow up overnight. There are a lot of ideas on the internet that do blow up in an instant, but this is not one of them. It needs a lot of work to get to that point. And plus, the biggest thing we have to remember is the fact that NASCAR actually went to Japan in the late 1990s. I think that is more than enough proof that they wouldn't really have a problem with having anime sponsorships in the sport, because if they had a problem with it, they would have never gone to Japan in the first place. And the Truck Series team Hattori Racing Enterprises also gets a lot of Japanese-based companies to sponsor their team. A lot of you that may not know that. And plus, when the day inevitably does come that an anime sponsor does get into NASCAR, you have to remember there are limitations. They can't just do whatever they want. So if we do inevitably get one, don't expect to see a kind of sponsor that has the design of Ryuko from Kill la Kill in Senketsu's lewd armor scheme. I'm just going to put it at that. Don't expect to see that anytime soon. There's no way they'd approve that design.
Oh, it's disgusting!
ジロジロみんなその色気で俺の目をかぶとってんだ好きでやってんじゃないよ
And just to add on one more additional point to all of the people who are doubting this idea, I just want you to know that just because you can't comprehend this idea happening, it doesn't mean that it's never going to happen. Yeah, that's the thing. You need to take that thought and get it out of your head and don't bring it up again. You don't just go around saying stuff like that. Just because you say that it's never going to happen, it doesn't mean that it's true. You gotta remember that. And plus, I also know that one man is not powerful enough to make a difference. This is clearly something that I can't do alone. I need your guys' support on this, because if we want to see a NASCAR anime sponsorship, the only real way for it to happen is for us to, well, get the word out. There's really not much else I can do or say. That's just it.
I can't do this without you. I need your help.
And plus, you also have to remember that there are drivers who are into this kind of stuff, and they're just a little bit hard to figure out. But if we just keep doing what we gotta do And eventually, they'll eventually get on board with this idea as well. The one driver that I know of, at least publicly, that is willing to admit that he's an anime fan is Cody Ware. And I think, if anything, he's probably the most likely candidate to get an anime sponsorship on board. But personally, I think we need to find a few other drivers as well. We shouldn't just rely on just one driver to get this done. So therefore, the only thing you can really do is for you to find all of my anime-style portrayals that I've made of all these drivers and just start sharing them around. Keep doing it, and eventually the idea will spark into their brains, and then they'll realize that, yeah, we could probably do this. So anyways, just take that as a little bit of advice from me, and I'll see you guys in another video later this year. I hope you guys have a great year this year, and then 2021 we can get back to the way things were like in the first 2 months of 2020 before everything went to crap.